So today we'll be making my famous Chipotle Mayo. It's in pretty much all the savory buns and savory items at the bakery. It's made with a mixture of sauces and a spice blend. And we just blend all the ingredients together in the blender. Then we mix that with just conventional vegan mayonnaise. So the first ingredient we have here, I use a vegetable seasoning blend, but you can use realistically any kind of seasoning blend that you want. I find that adding the seasoning blend just adds a little bit of saltiness and just a little bit extra savoriness to the sauce. So our next one is just ketchup. In most kind of specialty sauces, they always use a blend of ketchup, mustard, and mustard to make kind of like a Thousand Island dressing sauce. So this just adds a little bit more sweetness and tanginess. So in my personal sauce, I use two different kind of hot sauces, but feel free to use as many or as little as you want if you don't like it spicy. I use sriracha, and also I have some Dijon mustard. You can use any kind of mustard, but I find Dijon has a little bit better flavor. This also adds a little bit of color and a little bit of tanginess to it. This ingredient is optional. I also use a barbecue sauce. Just adds a little bit more sweetness and a little bit more smokiness to the sauce. And we're gonna add just a smidge bit of maple syrup to balance out the saltiness of the seasoning blend, and this just helps with just keeping the sauce more balanced. And our final ingredient, which I feel has been a staple for me, is that it's a peri-peri sauce. It has a good amount of heat, it's very acidic, and it adds more to balance out the creaminess of the mayo. It adds really good flavor to the Chipotle Mayo. So that's all the ingredients we use to make our base of our mayo mixture. The reason why we blend everything in the blender, we want everything to be consistent and we want the sauce to be smooth, especially if we're putting in a squeeze bottle. If you don't have all the little bits of the seasoning blended up or all the little bits of the spices in the sauces blended up, it's not going to be able to pour well in a squeeze bottle. So initially, when I first started making this Chipotle Mayo, I used to just mix all these ingredients with the mayo. Then I really had a hard time putting in squeeze bottles and giving a really nice pour to my mayo. But after finally learning that I needed to process all my ingredients first in the blender to make it more smooth and more consistent overall, and that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm just gonna add all my ingredients to the blender. So I'm making a pretty big batch here. So the bigger the batch you make, the less frequently you have to make it. So it sits in the fridge for a pretty long time, so you don't really have to worry about it going bad. So I generally make a large batch, then put it in the fridge, and whenever I run out, I just remix it with more mayo, then you have an unlimited supply of Chipotle Mayo. So I generally add my hot sauce first, so I'm gonna add quite a bit, a large portion of it. I'll use half the bottle. Sriracha. If you don't like your sauce spicy, don't add as much hot sauce. I'm just gonna add a little bit of barbecue sauce. I'm gonna actually add quite a bit of ketchup because we want to balance the this whole thing. Add some mustard. final ingredient is our spice blend. This just adds a little bit of saltiness to it. So now I'm just gonna put it in my blender. Turn it on. Let all the ingredients combine first before we turn it into high speed. So what we're doing here is we're just making sure there's no chunks in our sauce. So when we mix it with the mayo, it's completely smooth. So now everything's combined well. I'm going to increase it to max power gradually. So our mayo mixture is complete, and we see that there is this nice red color. This is what we're kind of looking for, right? So if you want it less spicy, you would want to add less hot sauce so it won't be this color. The great thing about this is when we're mixing our mayo, you have the choice to add as much or as little as you want. Okay, so we have our mayo mixture complete. So I'm just gonna pour into some jars. So I'm gonna also demonstrate how to mix your mayo mixture. So we have just a bag of commercial grade vegan Heinz mayonnaise here. Feel free just to buy the one from the store. This is what I have available to me. So I'm just gonna add some mayo into here. Just like that. And I'll pour a mayo mixture on top of it. Just gonna take a spoon and as you can see, it turns like a store-bought Chipotle Mayo. Honestly, like this recipe has really saved me a lot of money because I used to buy one brand of Chipotle Mayo in the stores a lot, and one small jar of this would cost like $7. And with this mixture that you can make on your own, that is pretty simple, and just by having the right ingredients on hand. So I generally freestyle the sauce because it's a very forgiving recipe. So in most cases, it's 60% mayo, 20% ketchup, 15% hot sauce, 5% mustard, and a pretty good heaping amount of your seasoning, just to add that saltiness, and just a little bit of barbecue sauce if you want the smokiness, and just a little bit of maple syrup to add just a little sweetness. And you can see this consistency is pretty perfect for mayo. It works perfectly on almost anything, burgers, yam fries, pretty much anything you can make. And if you feel like it's not as spicy or as tangy as you want, you can just always add more mixture in it to add just more flavor. And to And that's it for today. A very simple recipe, but a definitely very delicious recipe for sure. And this is definitely one of my staples that I've been making in my household for a very long time. All right, thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe and watch our next videos.